the importance of speaking about the mental health when it comes to a man, and the fear of being in isolation, because they feel like once they say about it, they will go into isolation and not develop themselves as men. Yes.
All right. Then what's your take on the same? There's judgmental issues, there is fear, there is worry. What is your take upon what Oprah has said?
I think naturally, being a man requires you to be a leader. Lots of responsibilities are put on you, and therefore most of the times you are relied upon by your family members, siblings, many other things that make you seem to be a leader and people who can depend on you. So what that means is that in any case, if anything happens, then it means they will come to you for support, for advice, for all of those things. So the problem comes in when it is now you're getting to a point where everything is overwhelming to you. And you know, as a leader, naturally, you cannot go to the ones you lead. It's tough because who is supposed to help the other? So the man often feels like it's not up to him to go and ask for help to somebody who is minor to him or somebody who is lower to him. So what they feel is like, if I share what I have with these people, then it means that I'm compromising my position, as the society puts it. If I go and talk about what I am going through, then it means it has compromised my position. Yeah.
All right. Has it ever occurred to you that you've degraded your position?
Yeah, a couple of times, but with the help of good friends and counselors, they helped me undo that idea I had before, because sharing does not mean you have, actually it makes you stronger. It makes those who are below you and who are looking up to you look at you in a way that is, it shows how human you are, makes you seem real with them. So they look at you at a good, in a good way, and they also open up more to you. When they notice you open up, then it means you're opening a channel for them to open up more as well.
All right.
Yeah.
And I feel it. As it in the sense of course understanding all this, has it ever occurred to you that there's a position that now wanaume wanapaswa kujiweka, in the sense that there's a man watching out there and feels like, Oprah and Nganga just, young people, and they don't know about life. How will they approach mental advocates who are in your age at this moment in time?
I think you're getting to an age where, like whether you are a young person or you are an old person, it doesn't mean that we don't know things pertaining mental health. We are slowly getting to a place where everyone has information, and particularly people in our age, we know a lot about mental health. So I would like to urge them to be more listening, to us and attentive, because we know these things. We might not have as much experience as they do, but we have more information from social media, from other people, from the things we read, from the things we hear, from what we have seen. So I would want them to listen more and to pay attention to what we tell them, because sometimes we might not know everything, but what we know might be of help.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel the point. And Oprah, what will be your take, of course, in the sense that we're engaging these men into this conversation, but the fear is there, and you can feel it. You can feel that the men do not want a conversation. Why then should we insist about that when they obviously don't want to share?
Okay, my take is that when it comes to mental health is all-rounded with all ages. So it doesn't have like a specific age limit. So and the challenges that people face in this life, everyone faces these challenges, and these challenges that somebody is facing, once they seek professional help, even when you come to therapy, in therapy we allow all ages to come for therapy, because we understand that mental health is important to everyone, even in even if it is the men or any other aspect of people who want to seek mental health. So when the men come in, because the challenges that men are facing and the challenges that other people are facing is just the same thing. So the approach that we are using to help these men is the same approach that will be beneficial to other people. So my take is that for the men to come in, because even when we look at the analysis of the number of people who commit suicide, it is like majorly are the men, and it is because men like put a lot of things into their mind and they don't know how to express it. But once you come for therapy, there's a safe place. There's a safe place for you to speak out your issues that you have not said with other person, because when you come for therapy, it is a confidential part. So once the man comes in and the man has a rapport with the therapist, a therapeutic relationship with the therapist, they'll be able to express themselves, and which is really important, because when you come to therapy, you're not just coming for an advice, you are coming so that you can be able to know the solution for your problem. So that is what most people confuse. People think that when you come to therapy, you're coming to therapy so that you're being told do this and this, but no, the real thing that happens in therapy, the counselor or the psychologist or the therapist helps the client so that they can be able to find the solution towards the problem. So once you come for therapy, it's just a way of you knowing yourself so that you can be able to get a solution about a specific challenge that you're facing. So men to come in, we are embracing the men to come in because it is important, and they'll be able to grow from what they're going to experience in therapy.
You're saying about therapeutical relationship, and of course there's expression that you're introducing, whereas temper is also an expression, whereas Maze Mimi, you don't know me, why should we even engage about this? So there is the collision where it occurs that when challenged, people tend to lose their temper easily, and of course if things aren't going well, there's difficulty of course in concentrating and embracing the fact that we need to have a discussion. So there is this man that has a problem, the society knows about this, the family knows about this, but sasa temper yake is in another class.
First of all, I'll begin by saying being angry is a natural response to it's a natural response, just like the way you are happy from something that is pleasant to you. So anger is a natural response to closing someone's boundaries. If someone crosses your boundaries, then your natural response is anger, because you're provoked. So it's a natural response. The only thing is when it gets to a point where it is not controlled or managed, because anger is an emotion, and actually it should not be suppressed. Indeed. I was listening to a children therapist, and she was saying that when children, for example, a child has gone to play and maybe alikumebeba a ball or something, and then one of the child snatched the ball away from them, and the child got angry and went to their mother. The first thing the mother should do is to embrace the child and let the child know that it is right for them to be angry, but it is also an opportunity for the mother to control how the child handles such things as anger. So anger is an important thing. It is necessary for you to get angry, because suppression of anger is very, 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 it's a havoc, because some of them cause deaths, they kill people, they cause self-harm to themselves, they cause harm or be controlled, and it should start from the environments they them control, because it is disastrous to the community, it is disastrous to themselves. Yeah.
All right. Of course, the Men's Health Week, of course, 2025, I was looking here at the Global Action on Men's Health, which now the theme is shoulder to shoulder, connecting for health, which is now the relationship that we need to build when we're embracing this conversation between men and therapists or counselors or advocates as Nganga. There is a point where it gets to, I need a shoulder to lean on. After all, there is a burden in me, and I need to, to just weigh it down. In the conversation on getting someone to lean on, how will these men know that this is the right person to speak to?
All right. First, let me start with the professional aspect where you have gotten a professional help who is a therapist. And when you are looking for a therapist, right, or when you are referred to a therapist, when you get into that, that's a sign of a way of helping you to get an understanding of yourself and becoming self-aware of yourself within the means of therapeutic relationship, which I have said before. So when you get a professional help, the therapist helps the man to develop a sense of well-being or a sense of identity of which you didn't know, because once you get there, and when you come for therapy, once you get there and you are trying to get a shoulder to lean on, you'll be able to understand your strengths and your weakness. So our role as psychologists or our counseling, we are not saying that we are neglecting the weaknesses, but there's a way we make the man or the people that are coming for therapy to understand their strengths. Once they understand their strengths, there's a way that they'll be able to have a sense of identity or know how to express themselves during therapy. So that's a form of support. And also when it comes to looking for somebody to have a support on, it's not only like the professional places or the therapeutic places. We can also have like support places like probably those who are religious, the church, and probably those who have family members that are beneficial to them. So what I can say is that each individual is different. So the man should understand which support system will be beneficial to me, because somebody may say that they want a Christian counselor, somebody may say that they want just a counselor who does all round of therapies.
Indeed.
But you as a man, you have to understand what type of professional help will be the best for you to have or to lean on as a shoulder. And also other support system, like I've said, the church and the friends. So it is for you to understand, it is you to know which specific support system will benefit you. Yes.
All right, so that was professional.
Yes.
And then non-professional?
Now when it comes to non-professional, when you are looking for someone to talk to, you really have to understand that this is about you. And when you're looking for them, you have to know that this is somebody that I can rely on and I can trust this specific person. So you have to have a person who is you have bonded with, or a person who you are easily how can I put it, you are safe around that person. So when you get this specific person, you'll be able to know how to understand and help yourself. And this can be done even through friendships. It doesn't have to be like a chronic issue, just a friendship. Just talk, have a voice, talk to somebody each day, and you will be able to grow as a man. Yes.
Indeed. All right. And that is why Derek Krieger says locked in, and nice to see, good to see you, Saola. You know him, of course.
Yes.
Amazing. So now this year's 2025 Men's Health Month is centered in closing the empathy gap in men's, health advocacy and initiating the process of change. And we need a complete man to really change and have a better lifestyle. And as we embrace the conversation on men, we can't forget the fact that there is an introduction now to the men in the heart of the government. They are in the spaces of leadership, but where the society sees this, unaona ni kama kuna changamoto ya afya ya akili. With how you view advocacy in mental health, as you embrace the leaders in this conversation, do you think that there is a problem in men's mental stability as far as the leaders in the country is concerned?
Yes, I do. It was actually yesterday. I was seeing the news, and the headline was about how leaders are going about abusing each other when they are doing their campaigns. And it's not a healthy response, especially when it is about campaigning and politics. Abusing each other, there has to be something to it. It means that there are certain words that have been said to you that have a direct effect on you, and the response to such things, of course, the unhealthy response is to utter the same words to somebody else. So I feel like there is a very big impact, especially to leaders as well. Just basically how we conduct leadership, how people do politics, how people do mobilization, how people want to campaign on their agendas and make people see like other people's agendas don't matter. So yeah, there's a lot of havoc in how people do politics and leadership, and it's actually causing an effect on how the country is right now, because an effect on a leader is a direct effect to those who he is leading. So it is also portraying to us. If you can conduct a simple statistic and ask how people are doing emotionally and mentally, then you will see it is a direct relation to how our leaders are doing. Most leaders are complaining about the state of the country and how things are running. Same case to the people who they are leading. Same case. Yeah. So it's quite saddening that this is going through leaders, and we need to do something about it. And leaders need also to know that mental health is essential for them. Yeah.
Indeed. All right. So Saola, you want to comment about the president?
Yeah. Okay, what I can say about the leadership is that the leaders should also be aware that once they are leading people, this is not just a form of leadership that is done with probably if you are in a specific field or a specific maybe health that you are leading these people, you're just not leading them so that they can be able to earn a living or they can be able to see you that you're a good leader. But I think that the leaders should also fulfill the promises that they are giving the people. If you gave these people this specific promise, please achieve your promises to the people, because once they have voted you inside the office and then you are not fulfilling that promise, there's a way that derails somebody's mental health, because that person was like, I devoted my effort to come and vote for this person, and the leader himself is not even putting that effort to make my tomorrow better. So my challenge to the leaders is that if you have made a promise to the Kenyans or to the men, please fulfill the promises that you have made, because those stresses that are coming in from the men and other people of Kenya is because they are looking at their lives and they are like, if these are our leaders, where are we heading to as Kenyans, you get? So I think it is a challenge for the leaders to just style up, and they should also do what they're supposed to do as leaders, so that the country or the people of Kenya can be able to benefit from our leaders.
Indeed. Yes. All right. So how's the mental status right now, Nganga?
I can say it's fair.
Indeed.
Yeah. Actually, there's a facade that goes around that if you're a mental health advocate, you don't get to experience these things. That's a lie. We also go through mental we also go through mental stuff, and we also seek for help.
Indeed.
Yeah. A couple of days ago, I sought help from her, and she helped me. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that because we help other people outside there, we don't get such things. Yeah.
All right. So now, of course, now this is the month of June. We're embracing men's mental health. This is Saola and Nganga, of course, assisting us in understanding the environments of this mental health. So it's 24 minutes past 9 a.m. We are taking a short breather. When we get back, we'll have a clear understanding on Shoulder to Shoulder. Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Lookup, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki, na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza liko na ria wasa wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hawa sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi man.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
Feeling like unwinding and calming your nerves down after a long week? I'm Nika Kala. Join me on the Nakala Report this coming Friday and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on Lookup TV. At Nakala Report, we turn the insanity into sanity and sanity into insanity.
If you want to have a proper outlook of the economy, then you have to speak to the wheels and gears of the integral businesses in the country.
And I want to be able to make the youths and everybody coming up in Kenya know that this is here locally.
Men and women in the thick of the bust of markets rising and falling, fighting to make their business decisions stick.
I've always lived in my career that I can never be late.
You need to train by yourself. You need to practice by yourself. Then from there you can compose yourself and give kind of services like this.
On season 2 of the Captain's Arena, we seek the inside of the minds, predict the shift in the markets, get inspiration to start and make sense of it all.
Just watch what everybody else is doing and just make sure you're giving back to the society.
Oof. This is the Captain's Arena.
Gentlemen, of course, the conversation is on men's mental health. It's June, and as we create awareness, this is the benefit of health check right here in the headquarters. Now, June is very important. Of course, also we have the month of November that is very important to these men. Yes, they've been grappling about it for quite some time. They've been embracing this for quite some time, and now it gets to the point that they need now to slow down and check on their health, more so their mental stability. You know, there is a family there that the wife is crazy as hell. You know, they feel like you are a man and you have to provide, and ukikosa kuleta unga jioni, we are having a crisis. So the point of understanding will become very difficult. But away from that, there is a trending story, of course, about Albert Ojwang, who they say that died in police custody. And of course, the father, Albert Ojwang, recounts last moments with his son before arrest in Homa Bay. There is so much intrigue about that, and I'm tending to understand how the father feels about this particular situation. It is the only one child, and as we embrace men such as this, there are many other men that have lost something very special in their lives. Imagine staying with this child for the past 20 years and the only child, and you've done countless of things to make sure that he gets to that position. Then something just snaps and happens. When we invite these particular conversations, how can we relate it to mental stability?
Okay, I'll start with the relationship between the father and the son.
Indeed.
I think you have seen this quite a lot, how proud fathers are when their sons succeed, and the kind of investment fathers put on their firstborn sons and the rest of their sons to just make sure that they see part of themselves in their sons. There's a lot of I am a firstborn son in my home. I've seen
good job.
Yeah, I've seen what my dad would do to just make sure that I get to where I want to be, and he also wants to see himself in me and a better version of me. So I've been trying to imagine the kind of investment this father had made on the son, and not only a son but the only son and the only child. So it means he put all his effort on him, he put all his resources on him. He put all his eggs in one basket because he was the only child that he had. So when he lost the son, he lost a part of him, and probably he has a lot of distress because where we would think we'd find safety in the hands of security men is where we unfortunately had to lose the life of his son. And I know it has a lot of distress. He's going through a lot of things because he broke down on live television because he couldn't believe that his son Amanda
all those years.
And he was just arrested, but he couldn't believe that he was just and even worse, they mentioned that he committed suicide. So that was a heartbreak to him. Because now he knows his son better, and he knows he had never got to that point. I actually saw some comments in X, and people say that he was not that kind of a person. He hadn't gotten to that point yet. So them saying that he was committing suicide was just a facade, and the father knows clearly. That is why he's very interested and broken by the fact that the son, as they say, committed suicide. So it has an impact on him as well. You can check. If you see him, he's very hopeless. Very, as in, that guy was messed up.
We really pray that he gets the stability vizuri sana, sinda? All right, and I'm thankful that the investigations are ongoing. EPO is underway, and that the activists are also embracing this, and the entire country is embracing this. And of course, you saw that banner, Justice to Ojwang, and comes in handy to support that particular family, to embrace that mzae manzi apate haki yake. But in the same context, there's a problem with the vaccine, Saola, and children are dying about this. So there's this family that is involved in this. There's the mother and the father that are involved in this. And I'm happy that we're engaging in such a timely conversation about loss. So if someone loses the people, the beloved, and we talked about, he mentioned about, this is the only thing that made me kutoka nje kwenda kutafuta pesa. And again, then there's loss. At this moment, you lose your only child. I don't know, you're 28, the small one. How does that affect them?
Okay, when it comes to grief, there are various types of grief. And when you're losing a specific child and you didn't expect it, it is called an anticipated grief. You are not expecting this specific grief to happen. And when you are losing someone, probably somebody was admitted in the hospital, and that is called a type of grief that you are anticipating because you had seen this person going through various types of medical processes. But when it comes to the young child who the parent has not had not expected it, the thing is that the person will have to have a delayed process of processing the aspect of this person is no longer with me, or this child is no longer with me. So when it comes to grief, the bad thing about grief is that grief collapses the person's present, the person past, and the person future. Like what the parent had in mind about the child, the mindset of how I'm going to raise this child has already collapsed in the mind. And whatever the past experiences, you now will be having a hard time to embrace the fact that this child is not there. And also when it comes to the future, you won't have any form of future when you are raising this child because the child is no longer there. And there was a video that was going on about the child who died on the hands of a father, and because the medics had delayed to treat this specific child. So it is a challenge for our health practitioners or our health practitioners or our health people who are doing the medical health, so that they can be able to style up and push themselves. When we have, like, when it comes to children are not like people who you can take like a long time in treating, but you have to really take an aspect of taking that child. If it is a specific vaccine that the child needs, the child should just go to the hospital, and the services that are provided should be competent services. That is something that our health practitioners should really take in hand, because this is a child that you're dealing with, and children, they need that specific medication at that specific time. So when it comes to the aspect of grief and the parent has lost that child, the parent will be like, what are we doing as a nation? Like, these are our children. The children are the future for tomorrow. If the children die right now, how will our future become?
Indeed.
Yes.
All right. And above all, let's now introduce a conversation on, you know, on interest in sex. And I believe in the same space, of course, there's loss of that interest, and you feel like, wachana na mimi kwanza, I relax. Do we invite that conversation as well? There is a conversation on physical attachment. How will we handle that situation? How will you assist that man out there that has lost interest in this, that thing?
Question. I was mercy starts from physical days. Unaona venye watu wanasema kukatiana na kuongea. There's something that goes on in between before you get there.
Okay.
So and it's quite psychological. In the sense we are not compatible, then it's obviously meaning that you cannot get to that level of physical intimacy or attachment because you're not on the same. I think work dynamics at the man. I know obviously una feel you going on, make it intimate, but to pour out his heart. Then ultimately you'll get what you want.
You know, you're defending the man, and of course at some point you support that. At some point the ladies should create an environment for men, you know, to have this particular space. You know, at some point maybe the man is okay. There is a problem with that lady. Once or twice there is, you know, ataki kufanya ishughuli, then it becomes a problem. Then later on that
is that sometimes that you can understand, because it becomes a major issue. You've created chaos after chaos.
Indeed.
So I think it's just for a lady to understand the right space of mind, the right space of atmosphere, or the right space of mind that I can approach him. You know, if you know probably he likes maybe food or something, maybe you can there's a way that conversation can just so that it doesn't sound as if you are interrogating, said in a way that it will create a problem solving solution rather than bringing another problem into that specific relationship.
All right. Yeah. No, Saola talks about performance. And you know, as let's not get to that. Anyway, in the meantime, so there is a need for us to embrace any to provide some few things. And the lady anakuja juu sana, like, you have to do this. For example, there's so many things that they are doing, including, you know, paying rent. Umana, you know, my job has a problem. It's okay, we can do this. Kopa pale hapa on domestic violence. So because siwacha tu nimpige atulie. So no, then now it invites this. See, unipige again. So when we,
for men, what I know from, because I'm a man myself, what I understand is that men love peace. Men flex in the idea that when they go home, they're going to find a wife who is providing an atmosphere. I've been telling them they're around here. Yeah. The lady provides an atmosphere that is conducive for the man, because where he comes to just chill, relax, and get to release whatever he has in his heart. But the moment he gets out of the world and he comes home to the wife, and it's the same thing that he has been going through outside there. So what does this do? This makes the man unproductive, first of all. That's why when you were talking about things like sex, now the man now is uninterested, because as a partner, like anakuona ni kama you are an institution. Like, and this has an effect also to the lady. Don't think that the more you stress your man, the more it's going to be conducive. The more you give peace to your man, the more the place becomes conducive. The more the man is at a capacity to hold more things. So if you feel like something is over, listen and have this conversation and understand where can I help, where can I chip in, as opposed to keep pressuring the man to get to a point where now you guys don't talk about anything. He just gets into the house, eats, and just sleeps.
All right.
Yeah.
Oprah, before within the environment that you feel like must be changed, as a counseling psychologist, of course, you've interacted with these men, and then there's a misconception that, you know, it's just okay or not okay not to be okay not to be okay. There's that conversation. What is this misconception that you feel like tukibadilisha tu he will be in a better position?
Firstly, I would like to say the first misconception that is usually said mostly is that men are not supposed to be emotional beings. They're not supposed to cry. They're not supposed to show and expressing themselves in terms of tears. Burial, you are not supposed to cry. You just have to stand there and just watch whatever is taking place. So when we embrace, the society embraces the fact that men are human beings, right? They are also human beings who have emotions, and they are allowed to express their emotions in a way that is okay, even if they cry out or they speak it out. The society should allow that specific aspect of emotions in relation to men. Another thing I would like to say is that the way the society views the men as if they are the people who need to only view the right aspect of mental health in terms of not being able to stand up or not being able to growing as a person. The men should be able to have that braveness of knowing that I am who I am, and I can be able to express myself in the way that I am supposed to express myself. And another thing I will say is that when it comes to self-care is not selfishness. When a man is having a self-care where they are just taking care of those things that are around them or the things that they allow inside their mind, and they're just taking care of their self-care, is not that they are selfish. You know, sometimes when it comes to either marriage or relationship, the man is just like probably buying things for themselves, or probably just wants to go to the gym, or they want to exercise or do such things just to release the energy that is in their mental health. So once somebody might be like, this man is just selfish, is not like taking care of what is supposed to be done. Yes, I know there are men who neglect their responsibility, but there are also men who balance. They balance their responsibility, and also they have that self-care. So once you see a man is just taking care of themselves, don't feel as if that the man is selfish or the man is lowering themselves. So we have to take that initiative to know that it is okay to have that self-care and that love for yourself. Yes, so that is what I could say.
For help and being self-aware, it is about showing up even when things are tough. Use storytelling, whether through articles, podcasts, and many other things. And of course, this is a definition of redefining masculinity. In the same in a better space, the team right here based a progress that will start with Nganga, of course, to give us now
masculinity.
Amazing.
Yeah. Then tungesema you're not supposed to cry, but even men cry, then nature allows you to cry.
But sipo kulia sana.
So like you can cry as much as a lady cries. And it's nature, it's natural. It's nothing that is defying any natural law. So it's an effect to men because they are doing what is against their nature. Yeah. So I would tell men, if you feel like releasing through crying, well and good, you can cry. Just know who you feel comfortable, process events, but you also need to talk it out. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Nganga. Yes, Saola?
To the government, that if we could be able to have rallies that will promote mental health, just men rallies, where we have rallies of men who are running and donating their specific amount of money that will help other men so that they can be able to visit other professional institutions like counseling, because when you go to counseling or therapy, these things you have to pay, and probably there are men who don't have that specific finances. So once the government organizes a rally, probably it is a public holiday. This specific public holiday is for men's rally. You get so all men from all over the country can just come together and they donate a specific amount that is needed for them, so that those who are struggling in mental health or those who feel like they need specific therapy, they can be allocated probably a specific institution so that they can go and share their various struggles, and they can become self-aware and develop themselves, you know, because jenga inchi, you know, we are to see what tunajenga inchi. We cannot like say that it is one person who is building the country. We also have to help ourselves, and also we have to grow ourselves as men, and also to develop as a society. Yes.
All right. So we have 4 minutes to wind up the session, and of course there is social media that is coming in handy, and so many people are coupling in social media. You know, this is how our family behaves. this is how we do all things. This is how we wear same outfit, you know, and this affects men at some point. You know, feel na mbona wangu wanavaa hivi. So when it gets to that position, they feel like saying also when it comes to these ladies that do nguo advertisement, and when you're approaching them, they were, you know, wanapiga look vizuri sana. So now, in the bottom line, the challenges that affects us to get a perfect solution are what as per se?
I think let me get back to what you said about social media and all of those things.
Okay.
I think there is a very big battle between reality and an image people are trying to keep.
Indeed.
And one thing, I've also seen this with men also, this thing about masculinity and keeping an image of being strong, in that they don't want to open up, is also an image you're trying to, you know deeply that when you go at home you have so many issues that you can barely handle, but outside there you're trying to maintain an image. It's the same battle that is happening also in social media. People have, in their secret place, they have a different kind of lifestyle, and then when they're outside here, they have a certain image that they're trying to keep so that the public can see. So I would give an advice to men and many other people that it's best to stick to reality. Do your things knowing that this is how I live life. Let people know that this is how your life is.
Indeed.
Both private and outside there, because it reduces the pressure on you to try and keep a certain image in the society. Also, if you cannot be able to tell how somebody lives the full 24 hours, then I'd advise you not to follow that person, because you don't know how their life is. Probably what you see is what they want you to see on social media. So if you can, that is why there is a need for having mentors who you have the chance to see how they lead their lives.
Indeed.
And you can be able to follow.
Now, how can we get your services? CEO, Mind Heaven, Nganga himself. Then Saola, of course, will give us their update, and of course, how can we get you across all social lines?
Wonderful. We have social media platforms on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, on Facebook, mindheaven.ke, across all social media platforms. You can also reach out to me personally via my telephone number. My telephone number is 0769 61 5114. 0769 61 5114.
All right.
Yep.
People will call you. All right. So
I wanted to say something about one of the major challenges that people face.
In less words, we're out of time.
Okay. One of the major challenges is the fear of not, how will people perceive me? So when somebody is afraid of how will people perceive me, they won't be able to talk about what they are going. So it is what I would like to tell the people of Kenya or people watching us is that do not fear to speak out, because there are people who are there to help you, and there are people who will be there to walk you through this journey. Yes, so you can find me at oprahsaola@gmail.com, and my telephone number is 0759 547670, 0759 547670, and I also work together with Nganga to Mind Having.
Amazing.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, CEO Mind Haven, Njuki Nganga, and thank you so much, counseling psychologist Oprah Saola, for making time for us. Ndio, ninashukuru sana. We'll keep engaging, of course, because there is so much conversation that we've missed. That was just but our inroad. Then later in the days, of course, we'll engage in other conversations in the limelight of men's perfection in their mental stability. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it done right here. And of course, as Look Up Television, we have stable mindset, and of course, the environment right here is conducive for men as well, and the women that are engaging in this conversation. And because they've made this happen, that is why it is so much advisable for you to check this conversation across all social media platforms. That is on YouTube and Facebook. Use the hashtag The Morning Gift Health Check, and of course use the hashtag Mental Health Awareness 2025. Shoulder to shoulder, and of course concentrating in making sure that men's mental health is in the perfect state. My name is Moses Ketch. My director has been King Dantimax, of course, a man of mental stability. And of course, see you tomorrow as we engage now in Social Wednesday, where we're going to have a discussion on disability is not inability. Let's see that conversation coming through. And of course, it is well done right here on the headquarters at Look Up Television. See you then.